Hey y'all, it's your sugar here, and yes, it's Wednesday night. Thanks for waiting, cause sugar a little bit. I was running a little bit late tonight, but I'm here. So you know it's Wednesday at 7:30. That's when the show starts, but it's a little bit later tonight. And thank you, everybody, for waiting around for Suge. Okay, so we got a lot of stuff we got some stuff to talk about. I'm going to introduce myself for those who are uh, new, because I got my true people that chime in every Wednesday. But if you're new, I'm Natalie SUGAR Brown, also known as Miss Too Bad. I have been a female pugilist pretty much all my life, and for the past 20 plus years. So yes, I'm an old crone. And this show is really about women's boxing. Is me giving my authentic experience and knowledge of the not only the boxing game, but the women's boxing game specifically, because uh, a lot of people may think that the game is the game and it's the same game played as in male boxing, but it's very, very different in many ways. And so I'm here to shine some light on that. So tonight we are going to talk. I don't know how long the discussion is going to be. My guys are going to come in with the chats. Okay. um Mike's here. Hey Mike. And let's roll. Okay, so tonight we're talking about the team. Okay, what does that really mean? Coming up, I used to say, or I used to think, oh, my team coming up, I'm a part of a boxing team, meaning, I'm a part of a group of females or males and females that we travel together and we fight, and that's the team. But as I grew in the game and became uh, a part of it, and somebody who has been a casualty of the game, as well as someone who has benefited and fought through the game, I really see what the team is. So we're going to go through it, and we're talking about the pros now. We're not going to really talk about the amateurs. We're talking about pro boxing. So in pro boxing, the team or your team would be your promoter, your manager, your matchmaker, your trainer, and your cut man or woman. Yeah, that's your team. And a lot of people think this game is so simple that you can walk into a fight with a missing team member. And tonight's show is really to help y'all understand why each member of the team is so important, and how that reflects in the game, in the boxing. I hate calling it a game, but we call it the game just to call it. How is reflected in what you see now with regards to boxing and the fight game. So I'm going to start off with the top guy or gal on the totem, which is the promoter. Okay, so the promoter is the one on the boxing team where, and I have some images here. I have some images that my lovely assistant is going to share, but just to lighten up the situation and make it lighthearted, if my lovely assistant can put one of the images up. But for my people who are listening on podcasts or any other just audio, just listen to the vibe, okay? So, ooh, the promoter, who is the top man or woman on the totem pole, they're the ones who finds and signs the talent, which are the boxers. Okay, so they sign them and they'll have a stable of fighters, males and females. Before it used to be just males and maybe one female. Now I'm seeing some promoters open up. Vinny Ali. Okay, so we got Omar chiming in. Hey, Omar. We got Miss Scott here. We got Mike, and we got, I think, Eric. Yeah, so it's a party. Yes, thank you guys for chiming in. And yeah, tonight we're talking about the team, what an actual boxing team looks like. Okay, so the first man or woman on the totem pole is the promoter. They find the talent, the boxers, they sign them. Okay, so they would sign them to a promotional deal, meaning that I'm going to sign you for this amount of years. Okay, you will be exclusively my fighter. I get whatever purse bids with regards, and we're going to go into what purse bids are, but I'll get whatever benefits in boxing. I will be the one to facilitate that for you, host that for you, and you will fight under my brand. That's the promoter. Okay. So they're arranging the fights and all of the other logistics. Okay. The promoter also sets up the matches and advertises the event. Okay. So, goodness, y'all, I may have some technical difficulties here, and you know, Sugar keeps it real. So let me just see what's going on. Okay. All right. So it looked like we ain't got much to worry about. Let's get back to the show. Okay. So the promoter set up the matches, okay? And then the promoter actually covers all the expenses, including all the people that's going to be involved in the boxing match. Okay. So, sorry, y'all. Can y'all hear me out there? Somebody chime in. Let me know if y'all can hear me out there. Okay. All right. All right. Let's get back to the show. Okay. So the promoter covers all expenses, including all the people involved in the boxing match. All the people involved in the boxing match would be the timekeepers, the referees, the judges, the medical personnel, ambulance, you know, those type of the people that actually work, right, to work the event and make sure this event is running. Okay. So then right under the totem pole, we have the manager. Okay. And I'm just going to read what this with this little cartoon clip that I have, that my lovely assistant has up here. So there's two boxers in the ring, and one sitting on a stool. And then in the corner, the one sitting on the stool in their corner has one of their cornermen talking to them. And I would suppose this is the promoter. So as the boxer's sitting on the stool and looking out towards the middle of the ring. The promoter is in the corner saying, and just remember, it's not about whether you win or lose. It's about how much money I'm going to make. That's pretty much it. That's really what it is. Thank you, Omar. Omar chimes in saying that's a great image and illustrates one of the biggest problems in boxing. Yeah. So a lot of people don't realize that the promoters are the ones who have everybody on the string. All the puppets on the string, everybody moves to the promoter's tune. Okay, so you would want to be the promoter, or you would want to be you're the promoter's guy or gal. Okay, so then we go, like I said, down into the next rung on the totem, which is the manager. And so the manager finds good fights for his or her client, okay, which is the boxer. The manager makes sure the pay is fair. Okay, so the manager's going to negotiate what their fighter, the client, is going to get for performing on a show. And so they will negotiate with the promoter, and the promoter then will then come back with the number that is suitable for. Oh, Tyrone chiming in. Hi, Tyrone. Hello there. Thanks for coming in tonight. Don't be shy. Ask whatever questions you like. You look like you're new to the thread, okay? And we got a couple other people that are true. So we having a party, okay? So getting back to the conversation. Okay, so the manager is the person that negotiates for the fighter with the promoter how much their efforts are going to be. So Tyrone Fleming chimes in. What's the topic? The topic is we are discussing what a real boxing team looks like. Okay, so before you chimed in, you're gonna have to catch up later on when we restream the episode. But the first person, Trifling comes in. I'm sorry, Sugar, but don't the boxer has to win in order for the promoter to get paid? No, no, no. That's what a lot of people think. No. And we're going to go into this discussion. Oh, let's start it now. Okay. Promoters sign fighters, but a lot of people don't understand that just like a promoter would sign a winner, promoters sign losers too. Promoters sign people to lose, to be opponents, for to build either other fighters in their stable, or those fighters are for sale to be used when they collaborate with other promoters, for other promoters to pay and get their fighters wins. Michael chimes in, AKA tomato cans. Exactly. Okay. So I want you, I brought this to the table because I want everybody to understand what the climate is out here in boxing, right? So it's not so bad. I would say it's not so bad in the men's game, because you're going to pay. At this point, the competition is so pristine or elite in the male game. A tomato can still be a killer. Okay, so what these promoters are doing now is they see a market in women's boxing for where they don't have to pay as much money to buy a tomato can or to use a tomato can. They don't even have to sign tomato cans in women's boxing, right? Because all the broads are just trying to make a buck. And some of the good ones, they're trying to be superstars. And some of the tomato cans are just trying to get their ass whipped by the highest bidder. Okay, so Michael chimes in. They're used to test prospects and take them into new territory. So you do have a point there, Michael. Tomato cans. So there's a difference now. We want to get into this. Tomato cans are one thing. Journeymen and journeywomen are another thing. Okay, so let's talk about tomato cans. Tomato cans are the people that you find at the maybe 7-Eleven, Circle K, a stripper at the strip club, somebody who has no clue, has no business, has no preparation. Maybe somebody, some scumbag went to the local fighting gym or aerobic boxing class, and they found a target that feels like, yeah, I can do this because I've taken a couple aerobic boxing classes, or I'm a karate gal or guy, and yeah, I'll take a fight. And they signed him up to fight a fighter who is a professional fighter who has been training for weeks and months, days, weeks and months, and they get slaughtered. Okay, so that's a tomato can, someone who has no business in there. Okay, then we go on into journeymen and journeywomen. So Michael comes in, a target for showcasing new talent and a human punching bag, someone who has less skill at the craft. Okay, so you're getting it now. You see it. So in a sense, lambs to the slaughter. Okay, so a promoter will, or as managers and promoters will find these tomato cans and they'll put them in the ring with their fighter. And this is where the black eye comes in women's boxing, especially. These women are not conditioned to take the punishment that is going to be inflicted on them in this type of match. Now, the average Jane ain't built for no fight. Okay, so I'm going to say that. Miss Scott chimes in. So who does this benefit? Read the if you're listening, Miss Scott, I'm gonna repeat it, but I want you to understand, because there's this cartoon clip that I have on the screen. The promoter is telling the fighter, and just remember, it's not all about whether you win or lose. It's about how much money I'm gonna get. Okay, so it all benefits the promoter. Yeah. The promoter is the one that's putting on the event. So yeah, come watch my fighter slaughter a mofo. Nobody cares about the background of that other fighter, right? At this point, they just want, because the promoter is promoting their fighter. They just want to see, because they're all excited now about what marketing and everything has come together for the promoter's fighter. They want to see that fighter in action. So they just throw a lamb in there for this lion to eat up. And, the tomato can, or this person unwittingly signs up for this. They get slaughtered. They get knocked the hell out most of the time. Okay. They get paid a couple $100. Their name goes on this fighter's record, and most likely you'll probably see them 3 or 4 more times before they realize that they're now just being used as an opponent or as opponents, and they give up. Okay. And then you never see them. Then we have, like I said, journeymen and journeywomen. So journeymen and journeywomen are actual fighters who have not gotten either haven't gotten in a position to have good promotion, have good management, have a proper team, but they're pretty good prospects. Okay. Journeymen and journeywomen are just people who were have just had a harder time in the game than the promoter's fighter. They're the ones. They're the ones eating plain bowls of rice. They're the ones for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. They're the ones that, running in the sauna suit, having to cut weight. They're the ones that you see. Those are the real Rockies. Those are the real heroes, I would say. Yes, because they really ain't got nobody on their side. They're taking that journey by themselves. That's why they're called journeymen and journeywomen. So journeymen and journeywomen are skilled fighters, okay? They are also gatekeepers. So they are used as a measure for the promoter's fighter or the promoter's prospect to see if this prospect is indeed good enough to rise up to championship opposition. Okay. Will this promoter, this is now the promoter seeing if this fighter that they have signed is worthy, or is this investment going to be worth me continuing to put money into them by buying their fights, by putting on shows and featuring them on the shows, by marketing them, by purse bidding for the good fights for them. This is all what the promoter's doing. So Michael comes in saying showcasing of new talent. So they're always going to showcase the talent, right? But there's a method to the madness, right? Each time a fighter shows up, it's a showcase. Okay. So the promoter now used to, at a certain point, let the fighters fight it out and may the best fighter win. And once that the better fighter wins, then the better fighter gets the promoter. Okay. A famous promoter who shamelessly did this was Don King. Don King used to be the promoter of both fighters in the ring. That's why they call him the devil of boxing. He used to be the one that he's the promoter of in the red corner, that fighter, and the promoter of the blue corner, and they would just be going at it, and he'd be standing there with that smile on his face, only in America, right? Because it doesn't matter either way, he's the one getting paid. Omar chimes in, from my experience, the purse for these tomato cans are significantly lower than their opponents. It's basically a way to purchase a positive record quickly and cheaply. Okay, looks like you know your stuff, Omar. Yes. These tomato cans, let's say tomato cans, they're coming in with having no clue about the business, right? So somebody's going to say, hey, you want to make a couple $100? You fight 10 minutes, right? 12 minutes. 12 minutes is what? 4 rounds? That 2 times, 10 minutes is 12 minutes is 4 rounds. Roughly. I mean, I counted 3 rounds, 3-minute rounds, but women fight 2-minute rounds. So still, you get 1 minute to rest. So you still fight for 12 minutes. Okay. So the fight, the person says, yeah, I'll fight 10 minutes. I get $1,000. I get $800 for only 12 minutes of my time, not knowing that could potentially be, or most likely be, the longest mofo 10 to 12 minutes of getting their ass whooped. And some of them don't, most of them don't even last the whole 12 minutes. They are gone in the first minute, minute and a half, 2 minutes of the fight. Okay, so that's how that works. Michael chimes in. Sometimes the tomato cans are responsible for paying their own way to a fight. I could tell you some stories. Okay. Michael Orr also says the B side of boxing is not glamorous at all. Hey, I've been a B side fighter most of my life, right? Because Sugar, that's why Sugar came back and told the story, right? I came up in a time where you had to play nice. If you were a woman, you had to play nice to get a promoter. And we're going to go into what playing nice might mean for a woman, for a female pugilist. Okay. Michael Orr at Omar Johnson. I agree. It's a great way to buy a record. So most of these promoters or most of these fighters, legends, have bought records. Okay. They're not fighting their way to the top. They have bought records. A lot of people now talking about, number one, I would say, and this ain't hating or nothing. It is what it is. I'm going to call a thing a thing. Amanda Serrano. They out there calling her the beast and all of this and all of that like she bad. She padded. Her record is bought. She has all those fights. You look at her fights. Most of her fights are in Puerto Rico against tomato cans or against journey women who didn't have the money or promotion that she has because she had sponsors and she had people investing in her from the US. Even though Puerto Rico uses US money, Puerto Rican fighters are not getting paid that kind of money. So they can buy a tomato can, a Puerto Rican tomato can, and run through her. They could buy a Puerto Rican journey woman because there are a lot of good female fighters over there. They just never get a chance. Okay. Michael chimes in. You could tell if they bought a record, just go through their wins and see who they fight. Exactly. But ain't nobody doing that. Okay. But this is something that I want you guys to think about the next time they push a female up in your face, a broad up in your face, telling you she the one. Do you know anyone that she's fought? Who has she fought? Is that person a name? If that person doesn't have a name, doesn't have a real record in boxing, she's padded. Okay. Michael comes in. Just because you have 40 fights and 38 of them are nobodies doesn't mean shit. I don't call anybody a nobody in boxing, especially women's boxing. People like to use that term nobody. I'm somebody if I'm brave enough and I got enough gonads to step into that mother ring. Because a lot of y'all sitting out there in that chair don't even have the heart to do that. So these tomato cans and these journeymen and these journey women are somebody, right? Now, they may not be a name in the game, but they are somebody. Especially the journeymen and the journey women. They are the ones who make that fighter somebody. Yes. They stand on that person's shoulders. Jessica McCaskill is that bitch right now because she beat me. The next person she stepped up to fight was who? Katie Taylor. Okay? So, and she talking shit now up there in the top rankings because she ain't never fought nobody else as tough as Sugar. That's why. Because Sugar, unfortunately, was a journey woman. I didn't get the breaks. I didn't play nice. I didn't do what most women were willing to do to get a promoter. I was dead set on just using these. Okay. And I'm proud still of who I am and what I became in the sport. Because at the end of the day, when they talk about sugar, it's some respect on that name. Okay. Uh-oh. We got the siren. So it's really real. It's really real tonight on the Sugar Show. Omar chimes in. Michael Orr, it is, but it's severely hurting the validation of these belts, which is horrible because of the amount of legends who fought to gain them. Omar, you got some knowledge now. You know what you're doing. You know what you're saying. Michael Org chimes back to Omar Johnson. I couldn't have said it better myself. Me neither, Michael. This Omar know what they talking about. Michael Orr also comes in. I almost thought we were going to get away without hearing the siren. Stop it. Miss Scott chimes in. So I could say she's a con artist. Well, if somebody ain't fighting the real competition out there and they claim they're the champion, are they really the champion? That's all I got to say, right? You up there, that's why a lot of them, they have this plastic smile on their face. They make these goofy ass faces and all that shit in the camera because they've made it to a place where they don't have to worry about nobody. They don't have to worry about hard opposition anymore when they get to the top, when they get that promoter, right? When they're having fights bought for them, because they don't have to face real opposition. They don't have to face real fighters like Sugar anymore, and like other fighters who have fought hard in the game to get a spot on the ratings, right? Those people who are fighting hard to get ranked are conveniently avoided, are conveniently ignored, right? And so the promoter then pays for a tomato can, promotes the tomato can like the tomato can's a real fighter. Yes, yes, yes. And then when their fighter goes in and slaughters the tomato can, ooh, they're a beast. While the real contenders stay shelved and get stale, and their bones get soft. And then the matchmaker now, who we're going to go through, that person on the team picks them. You got a shot, seven days notice, right? You're a real contender. You get a call now because you're in the rankings. You got a shot, but in 7 days, how the hell you going to get ready for a fight, a championship fight for all the belts or for the belt in 7 days? Now, you hear old school fighters saying, oh, you got to stay ready. You got to stay ready. No, not in this game, not in this day and age. That was some old dustiness before, where everybody was just running a couple miles and then, you know, you fight it out in the ring. Now we have these champions training in training camp, making their weight weeks or months ahead. Okay. Getting strength and conditioning training. They are prepared to go have their fight strategy. They are prepared to go those 10 to 12 rounds to fight for that belt and retain that belt, while you're just in pretty decent shape, waiting to get a call, right? You can't be in championship shape waiting for a fight. That doesn't happen. Right? And it shouldn't happen, but it's rampant in women's boxing because nobody pays attention. And that's why a lot of these women, especially the women coming out of Mexico, that's why these women are getting bludgeoned in the ring. They're getting beat so bad that they go into coma. and some of them don't make it out. And or if they do make it out, they don't have their faculties. Yes, they're talking like that. I'm not making fun of nobody. I've seen it. Y'all won't though, right? Yeah. They go back to their families like that. They have to hold their hands. They're pretty much special needs now, disabled people, because they have been taken advantage of by this game. Miss Scott comes in, Mr. Tyrone comes in. Would you come out of retirement? Do you know that I've been sent several contracts to come out of retirement? Now, when Sugar was ready and when Sugar was active, nobody called Sugar. Nobody sent Sugar no contracts or nothing. But now that they've seen that I've been inactive for years since my last fight, which was a knockout, because I spun back on their ass after Jessica Camara tried to come for me because she was supposed to be the next champ. And I spun back and knocked her ass out within two rounds. I think 2 rounds, call it 2, right? The line went cold and dry again. And then I got contracts after contracts. I got contract from Katie Taylor. I got contract from Cecilia Breckus. You name him, Callie Raves, Layla McCart, everybody. Yes. Coming for little old me now that I decided to to take a break out of it, or take a step out of it and gain some weight and look pretty out here, right? Now they want to fight me because they know my bones are soft. Screw them. So would I come out of retirement? I mean, there's always talk. If there's a sweet deal, if I'm being offered 6 figures, you damn skillet. Yeah, Sugar will step out of retirement. But for their little robbery purses that they're trying to, for a little $5,000, for a little $10,000, no, you can't buy my pride. Because that's what it would be, them buying my pride. And Sugar ain't never sold her pride. That's why Sugar's career, or that's why Sugar didn't get as many fights or many shots as she should have in the game. Miss Scott comes out. Oh, she's addressing you, Mr. Tyrone. Are you trying to call? Are you trying to call out Sugar? He better not. He better not. He'll see something. He don't let Sugar turn you into no tomato can, huh? I still got Pop now. I can still lay him out. It just ain't going to be as quick as when Sugar was the beast. Okay. Michael chimes in, says, I was high risk, Miss Too Bad. He called me Miss Too Bad. Yes, I was high risk opposition because I could knock somebody out, or if I didn't knock them out, I was going to hurt them so badly that they would be ruined for the next fight. And I was trained to be like that. Thank you, Jerome Coffey, one of my, and he was a good fighter too. Former elite level professional male fighter. He trained me so I would be a fighter that ruins other fighters. Because if you're going to rob me, you're going to get ruined. And that's what he used to say. Omar chimes in. I 100% agree with you, Sugar. I feel that the business of boxing has completely lost its authenticity. And in any sport, that's what truly generates viewers and followers. You're absolutely right. Authenticity is what, especially something like what we do, fighting, right? You want to see the will. You want to see the passion. You want to see the devotion of a fighter in that ring that has done everything they've needed to do to climb the ranks and to train and to extend themselves, to show the world and to show and to show off against other elite opposition that they are indeed the best doing it. Omar also says, or people that will obsess over the sport and make it better. I'm not sure what you meant by that. Miss Scott comes in and says, I agree with Omar. So we are having a party. Yes, it's a party. So, and Tyrone says, I also agree with Omar. Listen, Omar, looks like I got a co-host tonight. I like it. You know your stuff. So, yes, I mean, I've rambled, but I'm hoping that you guys or everyone listening and in attendance to this episode tonight understands now what the climate is, what's going on. Okay, so we have we talked about the promoter being the person who finds the talent and pays for everything, but also gets paid by from everything, from the events and everything. Okay, the manager is the one that also finds good fights, or so the manager will take a fight offered by another promoter or their own promoter against opposition for their fighter or their client, the boxer. Okay, now the boxer, everyone who is working in the boxer's best interest is going to be looking for fighters or opposition that's going to make their fighter look extraordinary. Miss Scott comes in. I love boxing, but I can't tell nowadays the authenticity of any of these boxers. Correct. And it's even worse now because most boxers are co-promoting the events. So, best example, Floyd Mayweather. Okay. Floyd Mayweather, after amassing a few fights under his belt as a professional, became his own promoter. That's why they call him Money Mayweather. It wasn't because ain't no money in the ring, right? They call him Money Mayweather because he started promoting fights and he started promoting his own fights. So he getting the money. Go get the money. Go get the money, right? So he was the one that started that. So it was ingenious on his part because he gets to dictate everything now. He's the boxer and he's the promoter. So he's going to choose the opposition that suits him the best. He's the one paying the timekeepers, the referees, the judges, the medical personnel, the commentators, the cameramen. So who do you think they want to make sure looks extraordinary when the fight's happening or when the fight's going on? The person that's paying them, the promoter. The promoter happens to be the fighter. So that's how that works now, especially nowadays. It's not like back in the times with even going back to Ali and them or Lady Tiger Tremar and them, where the promoter and the fighter were on different rungs. Now, in this day and age, most of the time, the promoter is the fighter. Yeah. I'm waiting for some. And you know what? Tyrone asked me something. And with that point being said, if I would come out of retirement, you know what? Seeing as how the game is played, Sugar might come out of retirement if I promote the fight. Yeah, I'm gonna get paid and I'm gonna win. Why not? Right? So we may do that. Now, Sugar gonna always put on a show, whether she fights a tomato can or whether she fights great opposition, because it's not about, I'm a crone now. So I'm the type of crone where I am the show. When I get in the ring, people come to see me win or lose. Yeah, that's how my fans are. I got my fans over in Japan, over in Turkey, I mean, call it. I fought there. I leave with the room. I got fans. So and these people, Denmark, these people constantly communicate with me. They email me. I'm always, I'm still active in their minds, and I'm so grateful for that. Right? Because if I was to believe what these paid resources have on paper about me, I would feel like I didn't do anything. Right? It's my fans, it's the people who've been a part of the game. It's that world that lets me know that I am valid. Michael comes in. If you come out of retirement, I'll work your corner for free. All right, Mike, I got you. Yeah. So, the manager then, makes sure, negotiates with the promoter, and make sure the pay is fair. Omar comes in. Sugar got fans everywhere. You damn right. And, I'm not talking junk, because I earned those fans. I bled for those fans. Yes. I've left blood in the ring for those, and those fans followed me in and out the ring. So yes. I was just speaking to an average Joe the other day, and he said, we were having a conversation, and he says, I've never talked to normal people, don't say the things you say or talk like you talk, as if I'm crazy, as if not being normal was a bad thing. And so I told him, how many women do you know like Sugar? How many women do you know, right, has been, if not the second baddest bitch in the world? That's who you talking to, right? And I'm not making that up. So if I come off a little crazy, you got to be a little crazy to be the baddest in the world. You got to be a little crazy to hang, right? Because this ain't no degree, right? Being a fighter, being a pugilist, don't sleep on us. Don't look down on us. This ain't no degree. This ain't no education that you can buy, right? We are who we are because we are the best. And nobody, not no average person, can test and pass our test. So I just wanted to put that out there. Tyrone comes in, you stating facts on Jesus sandals. I've been wanting to use that term, but yes, facts, bars. Our host says that's why you have your own show. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, that's why Sugar has her own show, because like when I'm spitting, what I'm speaking is real. This is real. It's not made up. Tyrone comes in, LOL. And the host comes in, because you speak the whole truth, no holding back. I have to speak the truth, and I can't hold back, because a lot of women have died doing this. And people want to think, why would you do this? Or why would you want? Because we can. Just like the men do it, we do it. Just like people go to war, why would they go to war? Well, we do it too. Hey, Graham, you chiming in? Hello, Graham. Thank you for coming to the party. And so we went through the manager because, you know, time is ticking, and I love tonight. I'm just feeling the love, and I like that everyone's chiming in. I like everyone spitting that game to Sugar, right? Whether you know boxing or not, I just love it. Okay, because this is real fight talk. This is real fight talk. Okay. Miss Scott comes in. Sugar is genuine. She shoots straight, just like that right hand down the pipe. Yeah, I'm going for the KO. Right? Because I have no loyalty to anything in this game except for the truth. I have no loyalty except for to the truth. Right? Because I respect this game. I respect boxing so much. So you ain't going to find Sugar. You ain't going to see Sugar in nobody's pocket. And Mike comes in, and that makes you more dangerous. I'm starting to think that you're right about that. So then we have the matchmaker, who's a part of this team. And the matchmaker now is, I would say, one of yeah, my lovely assistant says there are more images in the slideshow. All right, bring the other one in. Change this image. Change this one for those who are watching. So then we have the matchmaker. And so in this image, for those who are listening in, and those who are watching, you can see the fighter is, so the boxers, there's two boxers in the ring. And then we have somebody standing on the outside saying, get up, get up. And then the referee counting. But what the image is the two fighters, one fighter is standing and the other fighter has actually been knocked down through the floor of the ring. Feet sticking up through the ring, knocked down into the ring, and the person on the side saying, get up, get up. That most likely is the manager. Yes. So the manager's perspective, and some slimy manager, there's mostly slimy managers out there. They want you to get up. They don't care how beat up, how hurt you are. They don't care. You better drag your ass to the finish line. That's how that works. That's the mentality you got to have as a fighter, knowing that these people don't care. They just care about making their money off my blood, off my head. And I'm the one paying them. Right? Because manager gets paid out of the fighter's purse. The promoter gets paid regardless. So fighter sells tickets. Guess who gets either all the ticket sales or a good majority of the ticket sales? The promoter. And if the promoter has done a purse bid for the fight, meaning that they've bid to get a huge fight, the promoter is also getting paid from that purse bid. But we're going to go into that. So the matchmaker, who nowadays is the deadliest person on the boxing team, this one is the stalker. So this matchmaker has a list, has a hit list of fighters for the client, and it's all timing. It's all tomato cans. It's all journey women. It's all, so these people, and the matchmaker is looking at who's getting stale. The matchmaker is looking at who hasn't, who fought weak competition. The manager is studying to see who has, what other fighter has padded records, so we can find that other pad fighter, right? The matchmaker does their very best to avoid relevant opposition for their client, right? They're not trying to fight somebody who will give their fighter a fight. That's how it is now, right? So they're not trying to find somebody who's going to be the type of opposition to make their client extend themselves and become better fighters because they beat good opposition. No, no. They are the punks. They're the punk leaders. Okay. So Miss Scott asks, who gets the bigger piece of the fight or the bigger piece of the purse? The promoter, and then the manager sometimes the manager gets up to 40% of the fighter's purse, because a lot of fighters don't understand business. They don't understand the numbers that are involved in the business of boxing, right? They don't understand that. So when now you come to a person who doesn't have that knowledge and you talk about percentages and you talking about you know, purses and expenses and who's going to pay this or what, they get confused. And then they put their trust in the promoter and the manager, which is where a lot of fighters get taken advantage of, because you rarely find a manager or a promoter that's actually looking out for the best interest of the fighter. They're all looking out for the best interest of themselves and getting the most money off of that fighter's blood into their pockets. Michael says they're trying to ride the fame train as long as they can get paid. That too, right? Everybody. Michael says, I think young fighters who have just turned professional should go through a class and be taught on how to deal with business in this industry that's so shady. Good luck. Yes, young fighters should do that. They should. But now you got to think about it. It's a very predatory industry. Sugar was the type of fighter that would ask these questions. Sugar was the type of fighter that started to learn about the percentages and what those things meant. And you know what they did to Sugar? They shelved Sugar. Yeah, they don't want nobody smart. They don't want nobody to know how much money they should be getting. So as a I guess as a way to tell me how they feel, they turned me into a journeywoman. Yeah, that's how that happened. Tyrone comes in. Great idea, Michael. So what I'm saying to you guys, it is a great idea, but in this industry, the glory for the business end of this industry. That's why Floyd is who he is. That's why Floyd is the greatest boxing businessman. He truly is. He's not a great fighter. He's a great businessman, right? Because everybody want to talk about this way. I'm gonna tell y'all this right now. Floyd Mayweather, even though he's gotten to this 50-0 perfect record, could not stand in there with Roberto Duran, could not stand in there with Tommy Hearns, could not stand in there with Sugar Ray Leonard, could not stand in there with Marvin Hagler, could not. These men were going 15 3-minute rounds, and they were fighting all 3 minutes the whole time. When nobody shimmering and shimmying and dancing, and ain't nobody coming under no finesse type stuff. It was time to fight. Floyd Mayweather has brittle hands. How you going to get through 15 rounds against King Kong? And all of those men were King Kong. only if you were the business, only if you're the businessman that you are now, right? Existing how you are existing now. Because sorry, Floyd, not your daddy couldn't even make it through a fight with Sugar Ray. How you think he was going to do? And this is no shade. You're a great fighter. I respect you totally. You have good, I mean, you're a genius when it comes to fighting and boxing. But we got to say this, you can't shimmy yourself out of 15 3-minute rounds against a killer who fights all 3 minutes of 15 rounds. Vinny Ali comes in, bring him to the Talkin Fight Academy of Boxing. And Mike says, Tyrone Fleming, thanks. Mike says, Vinny Ali for real. And Mike comes in, true, get gladiators. I mean, we gotta call a thing a thing. So this knowledge is not known. Okay, so we're gonna go back. So we got the matchmaker who's a part of the team. Okay, we are an hour into the show, but you know what? We still having a party. Okay, the matchmaker is supposed to look over the candidates for the fights and match their fighter evenly with good opposition. But that's not what's happening right now, right? They're finding people who are not not of the caliber and are off of the rankings. And then they put the promoter, they give it to the promoter, and the promoter then through marketing makes these people into supposed opposition or champions. And then when the fighter blasts through this made up tomato can, on to the next. Okay. Omar says, everyone leave a like. You got to keep this show going. Yes. Oh, thank you, Omar. Yes, everyone leave a like. Please like, subscribe, and share. But before, lovely assistant, can you put up another image? Please. Do I have another image? Because we're going to wrap it up. Now, for those people who are listening in, I'm going to describe this next image, but my people who are watching, look at it, okay? Now, you got the trainer in the corner saying to the fighter in the cartoon, the fighter is sitting on a stool, and the trainer is behind him saying, now don't forget, you're diving into third. That happens. That happens. And that is what happened in this recent fight between Jessica McCaskill and Ibarra. I forgot her first name. My guys come in with the facts. So McCaskill versus Ibarra, the trainer made a side deal with the promoter that they were going to stop the fight. I believe it was in the second round. And everybody knew about it except for Ibarra. Well, no, I wouldn't say except for Ibarra. Ibarra sitting there on the stool realized that she got sold out by everybody on her team. And she said she was done. She said, I want to go home to my kids. I want to make it back to my children alive. Because she realized that she got sold out by everybody on her team, and a lot of women don't get to leave out of that situation alive. So she made the best decision. They calling her a quitter in women's boxing now, and McCaskill is there with, acting like she's some kind of beast or something. But McCaskill, ever since my fight, her people have been putting the fix in. So it is what it is. Okay, so Vinny comes in. Alma Ibarra, yes, Alma Ibarra, realized that night while sitting on a stool in the second round when she fought Jessica McCaskill that my whole team sold my ass. I ain't doing this. I'm done. And by that, people are like, yeah, McCaskill stops Ibarra. No, Ibarra stopped that shit because she realized that it was more about her life was more valuable than all the shit that was going on. And it was a 40, we're going into purse bid, and we want to talk about that fight. So the purse bid, or the purse bid, is the process which promoters bid for the right to stage a fight. And these fights, women's fights, are getting big now, so they're affordable for promoters. A promoter now can make a lot of money by putting on a woman's fight, because he or she doesn't have to invest as much money as they would in if they were to buy a male fight. So that's why women's boxing is getting more popular now. It's not that the fighters are better. It's not the Olympics. It's not none of that shit. It's that promoters are realizing that now society is so progressive that they will be entertained by women fighting on a commercial level. Because we were always fighting, but we were underground. Long Tour comes in. Your stream category is just chatting. Maybe should be talk shows and podcasts. Okay, all right. Thanks for that observation, Long Tour. We want to change it to, yeah, we want to switch it to talk shows and podcasts. And maybe that's why more people ain't showing up to the party, or sports, or health and fitness. You're damn right. Thanks, Long Tour, for dropping that jewel for me. Okay, so but back to boxing. For the purse bid now, the promoter who bids the highest wins. Okay, so they win the purse bid, they get to put on this huge fight. And so whatever money and marketing and everything that goes on goes in their pocket. Okay, then they get to negotiate with both fighters how much money that they're going to shell off to each fighter, to each fighter's team for the fight. Okay, so there's a purse split. Okay, so there's a purse bid and the purse split. They are going to now split that money among their fighter and then the opposition of their fighter. And like Omar said earlier, the opposition of their fighter are the ones that get pennies. Okay, the fighter who's the promoter's fighter may get may get maybe 30% of the actual purse money, and then the promoter gets 70% of the entire thing. So that's what, that's how you break down. That's how it's broken down. Okay, so going back to, this Ibarra, I want y'all to start looking now at this whole thing, because there's a common trend in all of these champions now. And then this is what I'm talking about with women playing nice. A lot of these champions are, a lot of these women's champions are Eddie Hearn's girl, especially our darling Katie Taylor. Now, everybody knows that you can't be a track star for this long and be making that kind of money. So you got to be the promoter's girl, and you got to play nice. So as a woman in this industry, you have to have a special relationship with everybody on your team in order for them to take care of you, if you know what I mean. So sometimes playing nice may mean you going to have to put something on somebody. And I'll let you use your imagination there, right? This will come out in the book and the memoirs, but Yeah, I can say this. I've had several propositions by some good names out there to play nice. And because I didn't play nice, I didn't get the shots. I didn't get no opportunities. So I'm gonna just leave that right there. Okay. So just know, everybody out here. Okay. Oh goodness, long tour, sleeping they way to the top, or listen, like I said, anything that has to do with playing nice, that's what's going to keep you in the game. Okay. So a lot of these women champions, they got to play nice until they don't play nice no more. And then when they stop playing nice, it's done. Their asses are done. Look at Cecilia Breakhouse, right? All her damn belts got took by McCaskill, and it sounds like I'm living on McCaskill's name, but I mean, this is what I know. This is what's going on. Okay. Cecilia Breakhouse did not lose any of those fights against Jessica McCaskill. It's just that Cecilia Breakhouse, she was getting long in the tooth, and she ain't want to play nice no more. Yeah. It starts to wear on you when you get used up. Yeah. So now you got a young girl, a young fresh broad on the block that says, she said, I'll play nice. And now she playing nice, and she getting all the gravy from playing nice. Okay. I'm telling you the authentic environment, the authentic story of what's going on out here. Right. But like I said, Sugar ain't never sold her pride. So ain't nobody got a story on me. And so we're going to end the show saying that right there. Lovely assistant, is there any more images? Let's see what we got. Okay, so we got a fighter in the corner reading a newspaper, and they got champagne in the spit bucket, and the trainer saying, remember, Spike, there isn't a thing, there is such a thing called overconfidence. So this image here really just depicts the fact that a fighter knowing that they're picked to win. So they're not even trying, they're relaxing in the corner. The fighter smoking a cigar in the corner, right? Because they know that everything was set up for them to win. Any other images? Come on, lovely assistant. What we got? Oh goodness. I don't know what the caption on that one is. I think this caption says, the fighter looked like he just got knocked down by the other opponent, and the person standing on the outside of the ring, the fighter's crawling to the rope on the outside of the ring. And I think the person, the man standing out the other side, outside the ring, is telling the fighter who's on his hands and knees, this looks like it can be your biggest comeback ever. So that would be something a manager would say to a fighter who has just gotten, or maybe a named fighter who's just gotten their ass knocked out. The manager is saying, don't worry about it. We're going to turn this around. We're going to get some tomato cans for you. We want to put it together so it shows that you making a great comeback. You're going to make a great comeback from this, right? Because like I said before, it's not about these fighters up here that y'all see. These champions are not the best. They're not the best. They may have the best team though, right? But you're not seeing the best of women's boxing right now. A lot of the great fighters, Layla McCarter, Chevelle Hallback, there's a couple of them out there. They are sitting at #1 on the rankings, not the ESPN rankings, not on Ring Magazine rankings, not on these bot rankings, because people like to use those. Those are not the official rankings. I'm talking about the belt rankings, right? These people, these names, these contenders are #1, and they've been sitting there for years, conveniently being avoided by these champions. And because it's women's boxing, nobody cares. Nobody's insisting that these champions fight the actual top 5 contenders in their divisions. Michael comes in, each individual sanctioning body rankings. Exactly. And even though each sanctioning body does get paid off, there is still a ranking system. And if you are a fighter, I was ranked in the top 10 for most of my career. Top 5, arguably. Yeah, right? I was ranked #2 and 3. But then I didn't have a promoter to pay that money to keep me up there in the rankings. So I had to fight and stay there. And the only way to fight and stay there is to fight and win. So then they stopped fighting me. And so I got off the shelf. Yeah, they kicked me out the game. And that's what happened. Michael says the picture's caption should say, "Get up, you son of a bitch." Because Mikey loves you. Okay. That's from Rocky. Okay. Yeah. Well, Rocky shows some truths about the industry. Okay. But we're going to wrap up tonight. Okay. We're going to wrap it up tonight. And like my guy Omar says, like, subscribe, share. Oh, my lovely assistant put up the last image, and the last image is that of the boxer sitting on the stool. And this boxer is a boxer who does not have a team behind him. So this boxer is sitting there with the busted jaw, with the Band-Aid on his jaw, with the black eyes, with the lumps on his forehead, and just looking dejected, and he's bleeding and just sitting there, right? But it's in a cartoon form, and there's light to the situation because it's a cartoon, but it's really not funny. And a lot of fighters go through this, and they go through it and are ignored because it's just like a farm, right? After you get grinded up and spit out, chewed up and spit out, it's the next and the next and the next, until you lose your faculties if you're not smart, right? Until they set you up and they use you, and you bleed and bleed until you're no longer a functional human being. You can't take care of yourself, and they send you home to your family that you've been trying to fight and take care of, and you become, I don't want to say a burden, but you become now someone that they have to take care of like a baby. It's not fair. Graham comes in. Do managers do enough to protect? Goodness, I didn't see that. Can you come back again with that question? I suppose you were saying, do managers do enough? Do managers do enough to protect their boxers who suffer concussions? No, they don't. They don't. A fighter who has suffered a concussion, they argue against, when a fighter is dropped, that's a concussion. Once you drop, if it's not a slip or whatever, you've received a concussion. Okay. They don't, and when you get knocked out completely, for sure, concussion. Okay. The manager does not do their best to protect their fighters, because they book fights right after. right? You at least supposed to sit out for 6 months for your brain to heal. Because when you get a concussion, that means your brain was slammed against your skull and there's a rip somewhere in your brain. Yeah. So your brain, and there might be bleeding inside there. Okay. So my ex-husband, Chris Johnson, fought Antonio Tarver. And in that fight, because his management, his team set him up for that fight and he wasn't prepared well, he got knocked out. He became a journeyman. Okay, this Chris Johnson, Olympic bronze medalist, right? This ain't no tomato can. Okay. Even though Antonio Tarver is an Olympic silver medalist, there should have been more respect with this matchup, but there wasn't. Okay. And Chris Johnson got a brain hemorrhage, almost died in the ring, right? But when he collapsed, they put his hand up like this. So somebody raised his hand up like this. So it looked like he was waving that he was okay. Took him to the hospital and left him there to die. Okay? It gets real. So, and that's male boxing. In female boxing, it ain't no different. It's probably worse, right? Because that's how that girl in Quebec died. That's how that girl got flown to Quebec and she got killed. And then the girl who fought her, after she killed that girl in the ring, she fought, I think, like a month or two after, like nothing happened. How you going to kill somebody and step back in the ring? Okay, this is what's happening. Michael says he was removed from the ring on a stretcher. Yep. But they waved his hand up like this to so people can think that he's okay. But this is what happens. Just like Alexandra, the girl that just fought Hannah Rankin. Hannah Rankin and her promoter said, oh, she's okay. She was in a coma for 3 or 4 days, a week. How the hell are you okay if you're in a damn coma for a week? And do you think she just woke up out the coma like Sleeping Beauty? Hey guys, I'm back. No, I've spoken to people. I've done my due diligence in the background and spoken to people who are in contact with this young lady. Y'all find out, come in and tell me who this woman is, the name of the fighter. I think her name is Alexandra. I forgot her last name, that just fought Hannah Rankin and got beat into a coma. They said she can't even say her own name. No one's interviewing these fighters after these fights. Alexandra Ayala. No one, you just go through the mail. All right, so this is what the game is. But I digress. Okay. Women's boxing is now there's a climate here that women are being abused in this sport because now they're using these shenanigans and these unhealthy practices that have been going on in male boxing for years. That's why there was a Muhammad Ali Act. That's why certain fighters stood up and tried to become a union, because people, it's just like sex trafficking. People's bodies are being used for money and they're not getting the benefits of being used, and they are dying. It's a beautiful sport if everyone's prepared and if everyone fights fair, but there's no such thing as that nowadays. So you guys like, subscribe, share, and if there are any questions that you have, please. Oh, yep. Michael Orr put, Ayala suffered a stroke in Glasgow. Oh, so you must have read a publication that was bought by one of the promoters, because this is hundreds of thousands of dollars, close to millions of dollars. Okay. So it wasn't a stroke. She got knocked into a coma People who have strokes are still conscious. She got beat into a coma by Hannah Rankin, who was more prepared for this fight. That's what happened. Like, subscribe, share, and if you have any other questions, brain swelled from being hit. Okay, she almost died. Like, subscribe, and share. If there's any questions that you may have, do not be shy to leave a comment even after the fact, after this show is over. I will definitely do my diligence to answer your questions. Thank you, everybody that showed up tonight. Miss Scott, Omar, Mike, Tyrone, who else we got? Graham, who else we got? Long Tour, Eric, all my people. Like, it was such a great party tonight. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to host this discussion. And I'll see you guys next Wednesday. I hope y'all come back and meet me. Like, subscribe, and share. I was told I need to be calling my people now that show up. I need to give y'all a pet name, okay? And I think I might call y'all my misfits, Sugar's Misfits, okay? But I'm just thinking about it, though. I'm just thinking about it. I'm thinking about what kind of pet name I'm going to give y'all to show my love and appreciation. Anyway, like, subscribe, share, and I'll see y'all next Wednesday. Bye-bye.